Hey everybody, welcome to Go and Grow Homestead. Today we're going to be doing a coop tour and I'm going to show you some of the features of our coop. Let's get started. So first I just kind of want to show you all the way around the outside. There are still a few things that are unfinished with the coop, but I want to let you know what it looks like kind of all the way around. We've started to winterize it as well, so obviously this is the run. My husband built this wonderful coop and run, and it really is amazing. He's gotten a lot of compliments on it. Very proud of him for the work that he put into this. And it's absolutely wonderful and functional, just how we like it. There's our steps. He even built that door. Now, of course, nature. This is woodpecker damage. This coop is in its second year, and right away, shortly after we built it, woodpeckers started to do that. So that's something we'll have to repair and handle. But this is also kind of where the coop is at in relation to our driveway. One thing you'll hear a lot about, of course, if you're just getting into chickens and homesteading, is making sure that your coop is secure from predators. My husband did a lot of research on that, and for this door, we'll talk about the run door as well, but for this door, this is what he came up with. Something that is just a simple latch system. This turns, doesn't matter which way it goes, and then having some kind of carabiner. This is not the best one, but having something here. The idea is make it something that a 3-year-old can't open. So anyway, if we open the door, and I always, just so I don't lose that, I always like to keep that there. Here's kind of just a wide shot of what that looks like. We go up the steps into the coop. So this is one of our roosting bars up here. This is, it's an unintentional poop shelf, but they do go to the bathroom a lot at night while they're sleeping. So that is something, though, however, it has been nice. It makes it easier to clean off. I can scrape that off with a flat edge shovel really easily, put some new straw there, clean it off as needed, and then we're good to go. This is our second roosting bar. This is not going to stay this way. It's not very good for a lot of reasons, but with it being winter coming up, you do want, it to be a flat roosting bar like this right here. Their toes, their feet to be flat, and not having to clutch something round like this, so that they can keep their feet warmer. Another feature that I like in our coop is just having the ability to see, and I wanted to go with a really simple one. I didn't want anything digital. We're trying to do things as simply as we can here, and things that don't require electricity, for example. So traditional thermometer, really inexpensive to buy as well, to know what the temperature is in the coop. This has been helpful. Sometimes there's things that you need to dust off, wipe off in the coop when you're cleaning it. So I just have that out here and it just stays out. Here are some of our nesting boxes. So the first thing that we started with when we only had about 10 chickens was this setup. You could see that from the outside, the egg boxes. But then when it came time to, giving them a little bit of privacy, I wanted to do it as cheap as possible, and I do love the idea of trying to reuse things whenever we can. Table settings that I had in the house, wasn't actually using them, placemats. So I just sewed a loop on them. And then we had this extra PVC pipe laying around, and we also had these extra hooks because we were going to use them for something and it didn't work for that project, but held on to them, and then we were able to use them here. And then so really easy, we need to get in here and access this for any reason. When we're collecting eggs, I don't need to take this off. You just push your hand through the curtains. But to take it off is really easy. I wash these like once a year just to keep them clean and free of dust or less dusty. It's just a really simple way to do that. And then again, kind of what the boxes look like on the inside, pretty straightforward. There's 4 of them here. We got more chickens this spring, and I started to think about, okay, what else can we do for additional nesting boxes just to have that extra? And I came up with the idea of onion boxes, the old onion boxes. This one here in the corner is actually my grandfather, who is the World War II generation. This was one that he used on the farm that he managed as a young man. So that's kind of nostalgic and fun. And then at a garage sale recently, we found more of these, 2 more of these, for only $2 each. So that was quite a steal. This, of course, is the door where the chickens go in and out at night in particular. We'll leave this big door open here for them in the summertime when it's nice out. And we want to get some airflow and fresh air in here, but that one stays closed most of the time. Here is another nesting box here. And then over here, when the chickens were still small, but we wanted to transition them out of the brooder box in the basement, my husband just put that little roosting bar in, and some of them still like to use it. They'll make little nests underneath there and sometimes lay eggs under there as well. The part of the reason we built this shelf and we have this space underneath was for that reason, and for many, when the chickens are transitioning, like I said, they need to go outside, but maybe you don't want them, you know, completely out and having all of that freedom in the coop or outside just yet. We used it this spring for a mom that went broody, so she ended up hatching 1 chick, and it was just safer and easier to have her in there for a time with her chick until we felt like they were big enough that they could just be out in the yard and roam with the rest of the chickens. And then also the very original idea that we haven't had to use it for yet, thank goodness, is if a chicken gets sick, but it's not a respiratory thing where they're going to infect everybody else, but maybe you just need to quarantine them temporarily for some other reason. Or, you know, I've heard a lot of our friends have like a naughty box for their chickens, so putting them in the box for a couple of days if they're pecking on the other hens or something. So we just wanted there to be a space here for if we needed to separate some chickens on a temporary basis. And this here goes on the front of that part of the coop that I just showed you guys. So it's just something that, you know, you slide it in there, slide it up against there. There's a little latch just to hold the door on, make it, you know, again, it's separated off, but also easy access. And this here was just a solution that my husband came up with. There's literally just a screw kind of holding it on to make it like a hinge right there. But this is so we can move this up and out of the way when we need to clean out the entire coop and we're trying to get rid of all of the straw and start over for the season. You can see what a little bit of a thick layer we have built up there. But then when we're just going in and out for daily, it keeps the straw in there instead of having it really spill out over, you know, all of the steps and such. And then we're going to end our tour here with the run side. So this is where we keep the food and treats. One of these buckets has food in it. We use the Kalmbach brand currently. There's a couple of different types within that brand that we like to use and change it up for them. But these bags are pretty good. We found them to be pretty weatherproof actually, especially because the run is covered. So yes, we get a lot of rain here and things like that, but it doesn't seem to bother that if we need to have an extra bag just sitting there. Once it's open though, of course, we're gonna make sure that it fits fully into the bucket or into, hi ladies, into the, what's going on, Texas the rooster? You wondering the same thing? Yeah. And then another bucket here has the treats, the DE, which we'll talk about in another video, which is diatomaceous earth, and things like that. And then back here I have my sieve shovel. That's just an extra shovel, but our sieve shovel for cleaning up this part of the run, or cleaning up the run because it's sand. We do have 2 food containers and 2 waterers for the chickens in here. That, of course, is their ramp to go up into the coop. My husband built that as well. And then underneath, there's a lot of good reasons to make sure that your coop is up off the ground, but underneath is another space that they can go, especially in the summer time. It provides them some shade and a safe place to look out and just kind of another place to be. Our chickens do free range, and they have a lot of great places they can go. But if, you know, they need to be somewhere, that's a great place for them to be. So one last thing I wanted to show you was just the egg box from the outside. This is how we have this. We're going to actually redo this door because it's not in the best of shape. My husband had some materials here, which is great. You should use what you've got, so you don't have to buy everything brand new. But this door is very, very heavy, and it has sustained some water damage. So you do not want water in your coop, certainly. And it's not really in the coop. It's just kind of on the outer part of the door for the most part. But that's how we had it hinged up. And then so if you just wanted to access the nesting boxes from the outside, this is how you would do that. Because we have the boxes on the inside of the coop now, I pretty much just walk in there and then I get them from the inside, kind of where I was showing you earlier. Hey there, I meant to say thank you for spending time with me today. Please consider liking and subscribing for more homesteading guides.